Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Bug here, and today I have something ridiculous for you. It's officially the stupidest thing I've ever seen and been involved with, so I think you might like it. Anyway, so Cat Slap, you may recognise that name as the winner of a lot of races on race night. He decided to do something stupid, i.e. deliver 38 coils in one load. So here we go. This is us attempting to deliver 38 coils in one load. So my original plan was to just film the whole thing from the drone, but I kind of underestimated how slow the journey was going to be. So eventually I do change things up a little bit, and these 38 coils, they're 14 tons each, which is just absolutely mental. I'll put up on screen now the weight of it. It's 500 plus tons. That's just silly, really. But hey, the truck seems to be handling it fine, other than the fact that it's scraping its ass along the floor. There's sparks coming out of everything, and yeah, the poor thing ain't looking too healthy. So I think the truck's got maximum lifted suspension, maximum strength suspension, all the mods, everything it could possibly get. Obviously that's still not quite enough. What I think what would have helped is by spreading the load over maybe, I don't know, 20 trucks, but that's not really much of a challenge, is it? So I can understand why not. And to be honest, the payment wasn't really worth it in my opinion, but you know, it's more about the challenge than anything else. As Kat said, it's just about the fun of doing it, and I think he can officially say that he holds the record on most steel coils delivered in one vehicle. So I mean, that's something that nobody will be able to take away from him for a long time. I mean, just the amount of time that it takes to create the steel coils in the first place, I would say that's probably a given on that one alone. But no, to be fair, it was good fun. We had a good laugh. There was 3 of us doing it. It was me, Cat, and Drop at the start, and then Drop had things to do. He disappeared, and Chef took over in the end. And yeah, we had a good laugh. It was great fun. The journey took about 3.5 hours. When we started here, we were working out based on the speed how long it was going to take, and it was threatening to take around 6.5 hours if I remember correctly. But yeah, I've got the HUD off, so I can't see the chat at the moment. But yeah, I think it was about 6.5 hours that it was meant to be taking. So later on, we do change things up a little bit to make things go a little bit faster. And when I say a little bit faster, it goes from the 1 kilometre an hour that we're doing right now to about 9 kilometres an hour. So it's not fast by any stretch. We definitely could have walked to Dasa Harbour way faster than we drove there. And I think I used 2 full drone batteries before we even get out of the steel mill. So that just gives you a rough idea of how long things are taking. Now, what you're seeing on screen now, like we're 3.5-ish minutes into the video, but we've been driving for well over 15-20 minutes at this point. So I've cut out so much just to make it viewable, because otherwise this video would have just dragged on forever and ever. And later on, when I stop talking, there's going to be time lapses of the majority of the journey, just to make things, like I say, go faster. But I just wanted to show you the tedious speed before we cut into the time lapses that we had to deal with. And trust me, it was tedious. As much fun as it was equally annoying at the same time. So, I mean, just look at it. 5 minutes of talking, but we haven't even left the harbour yet, and that's with a third of it at least cut out. So, maybe even more than a third. But yeah, I just wanted to show you in real time how fast things were going. And when we get to a hill, I think you can just about see it on the horizon there. But when we get to that big, well, I say big, it's not even a big hill, but it's bigger than what we're on at the moment. Maybe a 5% incline at most. It stops us dead. Like, there is just no movement really. It's barely even 1 kilometre an hour. So that's where we change things up, and I give up on the drone because the drone just is taking too long at this point. We're just sitting there wasting battery, really. So I jump in a vehicle and lend some assistance, and then things start moving a little bit more there. Have to take it nice and wide when towing a vehicle with that much winch cable out the back of you. Look at it go around this corner, it's mad. On the plus side, it will never tip over because it can't go fast enough to fall over. Like, that thing is securely glued to the floor. Everything is just being punished. Them poor, even the tyres, they're high load tyres, but even they are struggling, and I think they are yellow or red at the end of the journey, I can't remember which. And I do apologise for my drone work. I would just like to say my drone work in real life is far better than this. I'm not used to using a drone with a mouse, that's my problem. There she goes. There's a lot of this winch cable stretching that we have to deal with throughout the day. It's quite annoying in real life. Winch cables don't stretch because they're made out of steel cables for the most part. At least they are for wreckers anyway. So I don't like the fact that the winch lines stretch like that. But hey, we'll take what we can get. At least we've got winch cables, right? It's better than not having them at all. This is where my worst nightmare turns up, that hill. I just think on that last hill that was a 1%er, imagine what this is going to be like on a 5%er. And we just get, I don't know, a few feet up the hill and everything just stops dead and the tears come out. The tears really come out. Look at the state of that. It's just pure painful. There's just no other words for it, really. It is just painful, and it was just bounce, bounce, bounce over and over again. And I think this little hill here, before I ran out of drone battery for like the second or third time, it took, I don't know, I think 40 minutes, maybe just a little bit less, just to get to the part that we got to, which isn't all the way to the top, may I add. So I'm just going to fast forward it just to show you where we got to before I took over and gave up on the drone. I'll just zoom in a bit there. Yeah, this is sped up 10 times, I think, or maybe 15 times. Then the drone battery died, and I just thought, you know what, this is painful. But we're going over and over again doing this, and it moves 1 foot and then it gives up. So anyway, that is the time-lapse music cued, so I think now is a good time to speed up the footage and enjoy some lovely scenery as we travel very slowly through the desert. So I'll see you at Dasa Harbour. here we go. We made it to Dasa Harbour, or at least to the weighbridge anyway. Now, Cat didn't want to be towed through the weighbridge in case it screwed up on the weights, and he wanted to finish the journey off with his own power, which is fair enough. So here was where we disconnected all the winches. We kept in the rotators just in case he might need help turning around the corners, because that thing does not like to turn. So as you can see, my weight, completely normal truck there. And Cat's truck was, as I showed you before, 506 tons. That was absolutely mad. And even then, I think that might have been off a little bit, because if you do the math, I can't remember what it was off the top of my head, but yeah, that should have been a little bit more than that. So not entirely sure why, but these scales are just not very accurate. So yeah, we officially made it. It did take 2 rotators to do it, but I'm not going to say that it's doable without. I think even if it was doable without, it would probably have taken the best part of a full day to do it, if it was even possible, which I don't think it was. So yeah, I don't know. If somebody else wants to try it, go right ahead. However, I will not be a part of that. Not again. That took way too long as it was. Like I said, I think it took 3.5 hours, roughly, of real life time to do that. And yeah, we're just... was it worth it? I don't know. Maybe for Cat. He said that he would... like, glad he did it. I don't know. About myself, I'm not sure I would say so. But hey, at least we got some good footage out of it, and something for you guys to watch. So I'll just speed up this little bit anyway and get us to the end. And yeah, I'll show you the payment. And here we go, the moment of truth. There we go, it exploded, and we are looking at 683.3 thousand. A good exercise and a good challenge, and as I said before, it's a record at this point. I don't think anyone else is going to beat that. But anyway, that's all I've got time for you today. So thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. Please like and subscribe, and join me on the next one. Bye bye for now.